All right, so now we're going to go to the Arrange menu. And so what Arrange does is allows you to order things within the page, whether it's in front or behind something. The line tools, which allow you to distribute things in a page. So it's kind of like if you want to spread things out and you want them equally distributed, either vertically or horizontally, allows you to do that. The centering just centers that object on the page horizontally or vertically. And then you can rotate objects, and you can also group them. So we're going to look at these tools, which will kind of help you. As far as some things you need to be able to know how to do is make sure you know to use the control key. The control key will allow you to select multiple items at once, because as you saw earlier, I was dragging over and I may have selected items I didn't want. So the control key actually allows you just to pick and control whatever objects you want to select. And then lastly, grouping objects, it kind of looks like this. You just grab the objects themselves and then you can go to Arrange and then group them. And now after you group them, it allows you to either move the objects all together and then also kind of change their size proportionally together. Okay, so let's go into our live drawing. So I've already put in some things here. So I have 3 objects here. So I have this grasshopper, words, I have picture background, and I have this grasshopper. So I kind of wanted to spread across the entire thing. So I'm going to show you some tools. First thing I'm going to do is align this over here. But it's not really behind everything. So a lot of times I like to move things out of the way. Still doesn't mean, see how that one goes over top, but this one's going to go under because they're layered. So let's go ahead and move those out of the way. So one of the things I like to do is I like to either spread it across or just kind of put it in the background here. So I'm just going to spread it across. I don't care if it's stretched right now. You can kind of just see that it's there. Now if I right click and go to order, I can send this to the back, which is also Control Shift down. So now you can see it's right there. And then as far as aligning it, notice as I hold it, these red lines come up and I'm just clicking and holding, and I'll let go right when it's at the center. Now I can bring my other objects over it, and as long as I click on those blue lines that show it, I can actually use it however I may want here. I can change this to green, maybe a different color green is the outside balloon. That's kind of hurts my eyes. There we go. And maybe I change the font. There we go. And now that I have that in place, now I'm going to resize this grasshopper. So I'm going to hold the shift down to make sure it's resized. And now it's there on the grass, but maybe I want to make a couple of them. So let's go ahead and Control D, duplicate. So I have them all. So one way to kind of get them all kind of equally distributed is click on Control or Shift. And so now they're all right here. So now if I right click or go to the Arrange tools, I can distribute them horizontally, which means they're going to be equally distributed from the first one to the last one. Now another thing I can do as far as aligning them, because they're kind of not all in the same line, is I can align them all to the left. Oh wait, that just scrunched them all together. Actually, I meant to do that just to show you you can. But if you're aligning, you want to do it based on these parameters under here. So I'm going to align the middles. So now they're all equally distributed and they're all right in a row. So that's pretty easy. It's pretty useful to be able to do stuff like that when you're trying to have organized rows or things like that and do things more symmetrical. So again, your align tools are there for any object. I can even align this one even by dragging to the first part of the grasshopper. I might want to change this to grasshopper, so I just double click on it. Oh, now it's too long, so now I'll move this back. And now I'll move this over, keeping it in line still, and now it lines up with that one. And then I can go ahead and control sizes if I wanted to. Kind of move them in different areas. If you want to make it more of kind of a scenery, move this one way in the back. So it looks really small. So it looks like it's far away. This one too. There we go. So now I have a neat little picture I made, drawing, and maybe I have some text or things that I add in here. But as far as the arrange tools, I was able to use all this. I did not center anything on the page because I used the actual just clicking of the tools. But if I wanted to center grasshoppers in the middle of the page, I could go to arrange, center on the page horizontally, and there it is. Or I can simply undo it. I can also group these items together. So let's say I want this all to be together. So I can select each one. And so that way the crickets are separate. And so now when I've selected both the outside box there and the words, now I group it. Those are going to be together. But what happened to my grasshopper? That one big one actually went underneath, because now that I grouped it, this one was still actually on top. So I have to send it to the back. There. And so now that one appeared again. I can also go back and ungroup it, and that will ungroup those two objects so they're separated together. And then as far as rotation, any one of these objects, either by the circle, you can rotate it that way, or by going to the range tool, you can actually flip them vertically or horizontally or counterclockwise or clockwise. So you have some definite controls. Here you can just kind of look, and it kind of snaps into place when you go into the 0, 90, 180, 270, but it still shows you those options. So that is using the arrange tools.